Hello everyone, this is StrawberryShorty back with another Genius Inc. Japan visual novel. This one is called Time Only Knows, and I wanted to kind of kickstart it with this ad because I think the ads are pretty interesting. This is: you've lost your memories and three beautiful girls named Shirol Satome have shown up before you, all claiming to be your girlfriend. What could they be after? And before we get to the game, I also wanted to show off the one for My Sweet Stalker and the one for Locker of Death. So, one moment, we will get to the game proper. Okay, and let's enter our name. That looks pretty cool on a black background. See if we get a cool intro. Nope, just a woman talking. Let me turn this up. Kind of sad we didn't get an intro. I think this might be an older one, though. About an hour has passed since you were brought into this hospital after your suicide attempt. Well, do you remember anything? No, nothing. Even looking at my own license isn't bringing anything back. My name is Shorty? Seriously? I hope it'd be something cooler. Who personally attacked? Just to be certain, I'll ask one more time. You really can't remember anything? Anything at all? I like that it actually has an X, so we know how to make the chat box go away. Your occupation, your birthplace, the reason you attempted suicide? We just jumped right into dark subject matter. Any trivial detail will do. Tell me anything that floats through your mind. I really want to know what this house does. Yeah, I think this is an older one. Just out of curiosity, let's look at the minigame. It's the same as all of them. This is another modded one, or it's supposed to be. Only because this one is no longer available on the App Store, presumably just because my device is not old enough, so... Nothing. I'm afraid. It's like, who am I? Where am I? When am I? Well, as you can see, you're in a hospital room, lying in a hospital bed. The time is 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And I'm Dr. Keiko, the doctor on duty today who got stuck dealing with a handful like you. I'm a neurologist, so you better show some respect. What? Come on, don't call me a handful. You are a handful, that's a fact. However, it's also a fact that you're a deeply interesting patient. Your CT, MRI, and EEG are all completely normal. Your body is almost entirely unharmed. However, your mind is seriously damaged. Listen carefully. What you have is called generalized amnesia. Generalized amnesia? It's one of the most serious forms of so-called memory loss. Every memory pertaining to yourself from your birth up to this point has been lost. You have some levels of recollection of various points of common knowledge and common sense, but who you are, who you've been involved with, you can't remember anything about your personal history. Wow, but I can't even remember failing to commit suicide. Does that happen a lot? No, I've never seen a case like yours. Generalized amnesia itself is extremely rare in the first place. At any rate, you were one step away from leaving this world. Even if you've lost your memory, you still have your life. You should be more happy about that. Hard to be happy about having my life when I don't remember my life. Happy, but I can't even remember my own suicide attempt. Have you been told about the circumstances under which you were discovered? The paramedics in the ambulance that brought me here didn't really say much. You had put up a tent in your apartment and were attempting to use a charcoal briquette to kill yourself. Is that like a skewer, or was I trying to gas myself? What? Oh, it only takes a moment to die from carbon monoxide poisoning. You were on the point of crossing the river Styx. That is the dumbest way to attempt suicide. All the ways you could try, you're like, no, I'm gonna set a fiery type thing in my apartment and have a tent. It's just... Why? I've seen this a lot. Is this a Japanese thing? Because I've seen other games that try to do stuff like this. You ought to thank the one who found you. It was that quick discovery that allowed you to survive. Consider yourself fortunate. Was it a girl? I bet it was a girl. Fortunate? Am I really fortunate, though? I mean, I was trying to leave the world behind by poisoning myself, but I wound up surviving instead. He's kind of got a point. I can get where he's coming from. If he was in that bad of a position that he wanted to end his own life. Because the thing that people don't think about is there's no guarantee the unpleasant circumstances will change. If he's suffering financially, attempting suicide and surviving doesn't mean you get a bunch of money handed to you. So, he could be in real trouble. Can you really call that fortunate? Obviously it's fortunate, you idiot. Do you not have any respect for the life your parents gave you? Either way, now I've got amnesia, too. Here, look at this. It's the driver's license from the wallet that was in my pocket. That's not my face. Even looking at this photo of my face, I don't feel like it's actually me. That's how little I remember. Is this a Japan driver's license? Like, for real? A lot of shapes. Am I going to have this amnesia for the rest of my life, or will my memories come back at some point? Don't worry about that. As it happens, I've prepared a special new medicine for you, the product of the finest developments in recent medical science. Sounds completely fictional. Look at this capsule. It's what's going to save you. These are huge. So what is this ginormous red pill? Is it red? This capsule is a memory recovery agent based on intracerebral histamine nervous system activator. The medicine was only recently approved, but it was originally developed as a treatment for cognitive function disorders. You ever wonder why all these disorders in medicines have really complicated names? Well, never mind the technical talk. The point is, this capsule is a super powerful memory restorative, and furthermore, it's covered by your insurance. A super powerful memory restorative? So how long will it be until my memories come back? I have a printed explanation of the medicine here. According to this, if a generalized amnesia patient, such as yourself, takes it, you will recover 50% of your memories after 1 hour, 95% after 2 hours, and 100% after 3 hours. So if you take it right now, you should have everything back by morning at the latest. That sounds really convenient. Whoa, I can get everything back that quick? Man, modern medicine is crazy. Then all I have to do is go to sleep and wait for my memory to come back? Correct. Well, ideally, but there's actually one problem. A problem? Yes, look at the back of that license you've got. You'll find something written in messy handwriting. The back of the license, there's a phone number and it says emergency contact, Shirul Satome. Shirul Satome? Who's that? I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that first name correct. Is that a Japanese name? Like Chiro would make sense, but the L. Japanese they don't have L letters, do they? Well, her last name is different from yours, so it seems clear she isn't an immediate relative. Couldn't she be a cousin? If you got her designated as your emergency contact, she could be your girlfriend or something. I mean, this is just what happened in Amnesia Memories. I'm gonna end up locked in a cage again. Anyhow, at the time you arrived here in the ambulance, we contacted this Shirul Satome. We told her that someone called Shorty had been hospitalized following a suicide attempt and requested that she come to the hospital at once. You seem to live alone, so we didn't have any contact information for your family. The only person we found who seemed to have some connection to you was Shirul Satome, written on the back of your license. Wait, I have a girlfriend and she's here at the hospital? Yes, that's the problem. Huh? What's the problem with my girlfriend coming to visit me here? We'll really jump into conclusions about this chick. There are 3 of them. 3? What do you mean 3? I have 3 girlfriends? Alright! 3 different girls showed up, all claiming to be your girlfriend, Shirul Satome. What's going on here? That's what I want to know. We only called one person, so why are there 3 different self-proclaimed Shirul Satomes here? Why is this nonsense happening? Do these 3 Shiruls all look the same, too? That would make them clones. No, they don't. I mean, they could be triplets. They look different, but everyone claims to be your girlfriend, Shirul Satome. Incidentally, the 3 of them are all waiting outside this room. Well, do you want to meet them? Do they have photos of us together? Of course I want to meet them. I'll bring them in now, then. Wait here. Alright then, first of all, introduce yourselves, one by one. I see you came straight from cheerleading practice. Shorty, you know me, right? It's me, Shirul Satome. What was that? Shirul Satome is sitting right here. Don't go around using other people's names. It's like Frozen. Go to the 3rd girl. Oh, she's the cutest. But I'm Shirul Satome. What? I'm Shirul Satome. Why are there 2 more of me? Here I was wondering why some cheerleader was loitering around the waiting room in the middle of the night, and it turns out she's a phony Shirul. What the hell's going on? Well, like I said, I'm Shirul Satome. Who are you 2? What in the world? What is this chaos? Hey, you 3, I said to introduce yourselves. Were you not listening? I mean, we kind of got the gist of who they all are. As I explained, Shorty here was brought in after a suicide attempt. On top of that, he has generalized amnesia, which means all of his memories are gone. He's not going to know which of you is the real Shirul Satome. One of you is my attempted murderer. I know this. It's how it always turns out. Tell Shorty a little bit about yourselves, and show him some concern for him while you're at it. Right, of course. Sorry to make such a racket after you barely escaped death, Shorty. Oh yeah, I mean, I guess I was kind of worried about Shorty. She does not sound worried. When I got the call from the hospital, it turned out there were 2 more Shiruls. Of course there's going to be a racket. Shorty, are you alright? Are you in pain? Why would you try to commit suicide? She's the most innocent-seeming one, which means she's the most suspicious. No, I told you to introduce yourselves. Cheerleader will start with you. You two, stay quiet and wait your turn. I mean, they already did. She's so thin.
Do you recognize me, Shorty? I'm Cheryl Satome.
I can't remember you at all, but I do know that you're cute. Ah, such a soft smile, overflowing with affection. If the other two really are my girlfriend, they're gonna beat me up. Like the smile a mother would give her child, inspiring a sense of security and protectiveness. I don't know if I want my girlfriend smiling at me like I'm her child. Ah, that delicate face, that incredible waist, those long legs. Is she a model? She looks like a doll or something, is what I thought. I don't know, it seems like you said that out loud. You really don't need to voice every single thought you have out loud. Yeah, he did. He really said it out loud.
Shorty, you don't even remember my face? We're dating.
I don't. I'm sorry. There's just nothing there.
I had a hard time believing it when they explained it to me. You really have lost all your memories, huh? I can't believe you don't even remember me. My name is Cheryl Satome. I go to a school in a nearby town and I'm on the cheerleading team.
I kind of figured that last one out. Although I have a hard time imagining Japanese cheerleaders exposing their midriff. But I've never seen a Japanese cheerleader, so...
I'm always practicing late into the night. I was just on my way home from school when I came here, actually. I was in the middle of practice when the hospital called, so I rushed over here without a shower. Sorry to show up looking like this.
Oh no, this is great, actually. They're gonna beat us up. We're gonna deserve it.
Well, I'll explain more later, but we met about 3 months ago. You've been working as my private tutor.
So I work as a tutor and you're my student?
Yes, that's right. You've really forgotten absolutely everything, Shorty. I know there isn't much point to saying this to someone with no memory, but how could you try to kill yourself without a word to me? That's so horrible. I'm heartbroken.
It is a wonder why we would if we have a happy girlfriend. So, something's up.
I'm your girlfriend. You can't just leave me all alone.
All right, that'll do.
Wait, I still have so much to say.
There are two more after you. Let them introduce yourselves first. All right, pigtails. Heh, she's also suspicious. She looks like the evil rich one. Those huge eyes, glittering as though she were wearing rainbow contacts. Those long eyelashes with no need for mascara. She has no eyelashes and her eyes are pink. Those pigtails fluttering like a butterfly. This girl is like an idol. But how can this be? In her eyes, as they look at me, I feel contempt and sadism. As though she were looking at something filthy and disgusting. Beneath that gaze, all I can do is shudder.
A suicide attempt, huh?
Yeah, apparently. I don't remember it at all, but...
You even screwed up committing suicide? Wow, that sure sounds like you.
What?
I'm saying you're the kind of loser who screws up literally everything you do. You're pretty lame as it is, but suicide? You couldn't even pull off a suicide correctly?
You're genuinely hopeless. Our suicide counter for this chapter is going to be ridiculous.
And anyway, if you were so far down that you thought suicide was your only option, you could have just talked to your precious Cheryl about it. Or maybe you didn't trust me as much as I thought.
I wonder why. Shorty can't answer a question like that without his memory. We're doing introductions right now. Talk about yourself.
Okay, but what am I even supposed to talk about? My name's Cheryl Satome. I go to a public school here in town, and we met a little over 6 months ago.
You look like you go to a private school. What public school wears a vest?
Like that fake cheerleader Cheryl said, you were a private tutor, and I was one of your students. Shorty, you really don't remember anything about me? Come on, I'm your girlfriend. You've got to remember something.
No, I really don't. I'm sorry. Well, that'll do for now.
We'll have to chat a little more later, Shorty.
Last, the little girl with the black hair. Little?
Oh, Shorty.
Whoa. Hey, black-haired girl, don't cling to him like that. Do you not see the test tubes coming out of his nose?
I'm sorry. I was just so happy to see Shorty. May I at least be allowed to hold his hand?
Yes, I'll allow it. Now, introduce yourself.
I'm Cheryl Satome. I'm a student at a private school in your town, Shorty. You've been my private tutor for the past year. Shorty, what's the matter?
Oh, no, I was just thinking about how cute you are. Your dainty walk, your hands like little autumn leaves, your delicate shoulders, your silky hair. You're like a cute little animal, the kind of beautiful girl that makes a guy want to protect you. That's what I was thinking. On top of that, a girl with a certain air of elegance in the way she carries herself. Even the way you speak is lovely. Is this what a young noblewoman is like?
Oh dear, how embarrassing.
Can you not live without voicing every thought you have?
Shorty, you're the first person I've ever been in a relationship with. You're so very precious to me. We promised that we would be together forever. And yet, you tried to end your life without a word to me. How could you kill yourself? What could have possibly happened to you, Shorty?
Yes, we're done here. Introductions are over. You three, I need you to leave the room for now.
What? Why? I waited so long to see Shorty again. Come on, why don't you just send out the fake Shirls? Obnoxious cheerleader and gloomy black-haired girl, get out if you please. Gloomy? Obnoxious? I'm not that kind of girl. You're the obnoxious one. Huh, no, I can't let that slide. Exactly what is obnoxious about me?
She really has no self-awareness. This girl is probably a Twitter user.
Anyway, I'm the real Cheryl.
Do none of them have IDs? Or parents?
Why are you two harassing me? Please let me be alone with Shorty.
So you can poison me? Shut up. It's too late at night for this much noise. If you don't want me to call security and you get out, I wonder if this woman is a third dating option. Not saying that I want to date her, she has a sprite. Normally they're just shadow people. I haven't seen a single shadow person. If these girls have parents, they're probably shadow people. Phew, finally got those 3 Cheryls out of here. Shorty, I'm sure you noticed this, but the 3 of them have one very clear point in common. You're right, it's obvious the common point is they're all nuts. You're about to encounter your first choice, it's up to you how to respond. All 3 of them were cute, all 3 of them spelled nice, all 3 of them were my students. 3 of them smelled nice is creepy. They all were cute, well, Pigtail's a little less because she's kind of mean, but I'll say they were my students. Each Cheryl said that I worked as a private tutor and that she was one of my students. Correct. Since all of them said the same thing, I think it's pretty certain that you are, in fact, a tutor. However, in that case, it means you got involved with one of your students, Shorty, which makes you an unprincipled dog. I'm not an actual teacher. Come on, you saw how cute they were. How could anyone not want to get involved? Hehe. Come to think of it, for an attempted suicide case featuring serious amnesia, you're awfully happy-go-lucky. I would think that a man whose memories flew out of his head on the point of death would be a little more rattled. I'm honestly surprised myself, honestly. Maybe I'm just an optimistic guy? An optimistic guy wouldn't have tried to kill himself, would he? In case you haven't grasped it yet, this situation is extremely abnormal. Now, you remember that large red capsule I showed you earlier? There's no log for this one, is there? Nope. So I'll just assume yes. If I take this, I'll have 50% of my memories back in 1 hour, 95% in 2, and 100 after 3, right? People, there's no log for this one. How old is this app? That's correct. Now, Shorty, I've told the 3 Cheryls that your memory will return with certainty after 3 hours. In other words, they know that after 3 hours, at most, it will become clearer to you which of them is the real Cheryl Satome. So one of them has to murder me before that happens. Do you understand what that means? No, not really. What are you trying to say, Dr. Keiko? Let me make this easy for you. Common sense dictates that if one of these 3 is the real Cheryl Satome, then the other 2 are fakes, all right? Right, I get that much. Then there's the question. If it's guaranteed that the 2 fakes will be revealed after 3 hours, then why are those 2 still pretending to be Cheryl Satome? So they get close enough to kill me. The fakes will only be able to deceive you for 3 hours, and yet they're still here. Why is that? How could it possibly benefit them to pretend to be Cheryl Satome for 3 hours? That's right. There's no point in telling a lie that's going to be found out after 3 hours. Right? The meaning in that is unclear. Well, after 3 hours, your memories will all be back. You'll know which is the real Cheryl Satome, the reason you attempted suicide, everything. How is this game going to play out? Like, are we getting our memory back right away, or what? These are usually like 50-some chapters. In the meantime, you should sleep. When you wake up, all your problems will be resolved. I feel like they won't be. Am I going to time travel? Your life isn't in any danger, so I'll have the Cheryls go home. No, wait. I have 3 different girls here who all claim to have the same name as my girlfriend. How could I possibly sleep with a mystery like this on my hands? I'm wide awake. And I want to know more about myself anyway. What I'm like, why I tried to kill myself, I want to clear all of that up. I like that little boingy noise. So, what do you expect me to do? Well, for now, could I have some time to talk things over with the Cheryls? Maybe, if I talk to them, I'll be able to get some answers to these mysteries. Like, why I tried to kill myself or what the fake Cheryls were planning by coming here, right? That sounds like too much trouble. Can't you just wait 3 hours? What? What kind of doctor says too much trouble? Can't you let your patient have few requests? Although if you talk to people you knew before you lost your memory, that could speed its recovery. Very well, I'll allow it. Yay! With one condition, you will only speak to one Cheryl at a time. If I let more than one into the room, it's just going to dissolve into uncontrollable chaos like before. Yes, ma'am! Victory! What? I just heard some kind of weird electronic sound. That was your phone's alert turn. I have a phone. Most people do nowadays, that's what I was thinking. It was in the pocket of the jeans you were wearing. Shouldn't I have photos of myself with my girl? It's right there on the side table. You should check it. Someone might have sent you a text or something. Probably gonna be one of them. Alrighty, I do believe I will. Take you up on that and have a look. The screen says 1 new email. Oh hey, this phone doesn't have a password set. That seems a little careless, huh? And the screen still has this protective film on it. The whole thing is pretty shiny. Maybe I just bought it? Or maybe I was the kind of guy to just leave the film on while I used it? Or it's a new phone that someone planted on us. Maybe the person who called for help. Can you even shut up? Not even shut up when you're fiddling around with your phone? Maybe the message will be from an anonymous person giving us a warning. Sorry, I guess I'm the type who gets chatty when I'm nervous? Nervous? Why are you nervous? I mean, I tried to end my life, which meant something horrible was going on, and I have 3 people all claiming to be my girlfriend. So, yeah. Well, I got some kind of weird messages here. A weird message from whom? I don't know. Someone who isn't in the phone's contacts. An unknown sender? Oh, that's not really relevant. What does it say? It doesn't have a subject. The body of the email is only 1 line, and it says, "Do not trust Shiro Satome." I knew it. I knew it was a warning. The mystery deepens. Is this a chapter end? We got splash screens for My Sweet Stalker, and we got numbers for Locker of Death. We didn't get anything. I had to touch the screen. I wanted to do 3 chapters for this, but I don't know. I think that might be too long. My rental girlfriend. Can 3 fake relationships with beautiful girls lead to one true love? So after you've lost your memory following a suicide attempt, you got an email from an unknown sender. An email reading, "Do not trust Shiro Satome." Maybe she's Shiro Satome. What does it mean? Who sent this and why? How would I know that? But considering the circumstances, I would say it's unlikely that this is a simple prank. The timing does seem a little too perfect, getting a message that says, "Do not trust Shiro Satome," right after 3 of them show up. Do not trust Shiro Satome. At any rate, that phone of yours seems brand new. It doesn't have a password, the protective film is still on it, and all the apps are default ones. I was wondering about that too. I was looking at the address book, memo pad, and photo app just now, and it's all brand new. There's nothing in here at all. There's not a single clue about me or Shiro anywhere on this phone. I thought there would at least be a picture with her saved in here or something. But why is it new? Had I just gotten an upgrade? Wait, I lost all my memories, but I still remember how to operate a smartphone. That's weird. I believe I told you that even though you've forgotten your whole life history, you still remember a lot in the way of common ideas and general knowledge. That's what I was thinking. You haven't forgotten all about daily life operations. Anyway, I'm rather curious about this strange message, but let's forget about it for now. You wanted to talk with the Shiro Satome trio, yes? Did you take the memory restorative I gave you? Yep, I took it, though it was a bit hard to swallow since it was so big. Well, it's efficiency. Shouldn't it be efficiency? Is unparalleled, so don't worry. Your memories will return. I already told you this, but I'll repeat it one more time, just for good measure. The red capsule you took should take effect and restore your lost memories in a matter of hours. Since you took the restorative just now at 8 p.m. sharp, in 1 hour at 9 p.m. you'll have 50% of your memories back, at 10 p.m. you'll have 95%, and at 11 you'll have 100%. I imagine you'll finish talking with the Shiros around 10, so by that point you should have recovered half of your lost memories. So, Shorty, which Shiro will you speak with first? Just out of curiosity, what order did the Shiros get here in? After we placed the call to Shiro Satome, the first to arrive at the hospital was the cheerleader. A few minutes later, it was the girl with the pigtails, and then the black-haired girl a few minutes after that. Cheerleader, pigtails, black hair. Alright, I'll talk to them in that order then. Very well, I'll go get the cheerleader. Alright, cheerleader, come in.
Okay.
She has such peppy music. Just looking at her thighs. Shorty, do not ogle the cheerleader. I kind of like this doctor. I'm not ogling her.
It's alright, Shorty. You can look at me all you like.
Alright, guess I'll help myself then. All these protagonists are perverts. Do not help yourself, idiot. Just to warn you, the moment you and the cheerleader start getting flirty in front of me, this meeting is over. Why? Because seeing it would tick me off. I didn't approve of your meeting with the 3 Shiros just to watch you fool around. It's because I believe it may help with the recovery of your memories. Don't forget that.
Shorty, your doctor is a little scary, huh?
Yeah, she's scary, but she's not a bad person, I think. Man, though, you are seriously gorgeous. It's even more obvious now that I'm seeing you up close. That slightly tan skin, just like you'd expect a cheerleader to have, it's beautiful. The gentle curve of your eyebrows and the slope of your eyes are so soothing, and there's something indescribably motherly in your soft smile. I would be the luckiest man in the world to have a girlfriend as lovely as you. What are you, some kind of poet?
That makes me feel better, actually. You may have lost your memory, Shorty, but your personality hasn't changed at all. You were always giving me exaggerated compliments like that. It was so funny, and it made me so happy. How are you feeling? You still don't remember me?
I'm feeling pretty much okay. I had a headache right when they brought me in. Now my body's just a little sluggish. But yeah, my memory's as blank as ever.
I see. When I heard that you had tried to kill yourself, Shorty, I was so shocked and sad. But I'm so glad you're alive.
Whoa, now you're hugging me?
I'm really glad. I'm really glad you didn't die.
As her soft chest presses against my body, I catch the faint fragrance of mint in the air. Perhaps she was wearing perfume at the back of her neck. I reach around her narrow hips and embrace her tightly. Then, feeling the two voluptuous hills that lay below her neck, I slowly undo the hooks of her brassiere. What are you doing? Beat him with the clipboard! Don't you dare! Stop narrating, and you, cheerleader, back off!
She yelled at me.
You're both idiots. The next time you try to pull anything that would drive our age rating up, I'm booting you out of this room. Shorty, you want to figure out the cause of your suicide attempt and determine which is the real Shiro Satome, yes? That's why you've asked to have these meetings with each Shiro. So get talking. Any more flirting and I'll slice your Achilles tendons with a scalpel. A doctor shouldn't make threats like that. But don't worry, Dr. Keiko. I'm already thought about what I'm going to ask the Shiros. So, Shiro. As you know, I've lost all of my memories, which means that I don't remember anything about myself or you. I know it might be awfully rude of me, but would you mind if I ask you some questions about yourself?
Not at all. Go ahead.
You sound like a job interview or something, Shorty. Ugh, I was picturing something more like a detective doing an interrogation. Okay, let's see. Where do I start? I want to know about how our romance began. Are you acquainted with the other Shiros, or do you have any ideas about why I would commit suicide? I'll say the first one, they don't seem to know each other. They all appear to be at different schools, and she clearly had no idea why. So, yeah, please, tell me how things got started for us. I want to know all the details from the time we met until we started dating.
Roger. So every weekday, I go to school and stay late for cheerleading practice. It doesn't leave me with very much time for studying, so my grades were slipping. Then, about 3 months ago, my dad suggested hiring a private tutor for the weekends. And that's how you and I met, Shorty.
Oh, I see. Then does that mean I'm acquainted with your family?
No, you haven't met my family. I live on my own.
On your own? That's pretty unusual for a student. Getting back to the subject at hand, which one of us was it who asked the other out? Was it me or you?
Oh, it was me. It was an all-out attack on my part.
An all-out attack? I have also played Persona.
Yep, I could tell that you had your eye on me, but you wouldn't make a move. So I did everything I could to appeal to you. And finally I wound up making a move on you? Is that how it went? Yes. Don't start with that yes nonsense. This conversation is making me so sick I could probably file for workers' compensation.
What? I don't think we're talking about anything particularly sickening. I have a chronic disease which makes a hole open up in my stomach whenever I listen to other people talk about their love life. Whoa. Hey, isn't it about time you moved on to the next question? Alright, moving on to the next question then. What's your cup size? I feel like that's what he would say. Are we just going to ask all of them? Well, I'm going to ask the third one just because I want to see if she has any suspicions at all. Do you have any ideas about why I would commit suicide?
No, none at all.
That was a quick answer.
I still can't believe that you would try to kill yourself. Normally, people who do that show some kind of signs beforehand, right? Like being nervous because they got a ton of stress on their mind, or just withdrawing and not talking to anyone.
Maybe it was a murder attempt.
But you didn't show anything like that, Shorty. I saw you last night and you were just as pleasant, bright, funny, and kind as ever. If you had any worries that would lead you to kill yourself, I feel like you would have come to me before anyone else. We have the kind of relationship where we can talk about anything with each other without hiding anything.
Huh, so the reason for my suicide attempt is still a mystery. Alright, moving on to the next question then. Now, are you acquainted with the Shiros? Do you have any acquaintance with the other Shiros?
The girl with the pigtails and the girl with the black hair? This is my first time meeting either of them. Why are those two pretending to be me, I wonder? At first I was surprised and angry, but now, honestly, I'm kind of scared. I can't come up with any reason that they would want to be me.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I wonder why they're pretending to be Shiro Satome, but nothing is coming to mind. Granted, I don't have any sure proof that you're the real Shiro Satome either.
What? How could you say that? Of course I'm the real one.
Hey, no, let's limit that discussion. The three of you can insist that you're the real Shiro all you want, but Shorty still won't be able to judge which is the truth, given that he has amnesia. Well, in a few hours, he'll know which is the real Shiro Satome. If she's the real one, it would make the most sense. That would explain why she's getting so ticked by how we're treating the other girls. I've been pretty good at guessing these plots, though, but it's still early. If you are the real one, then you should calm down and keep yourself composed.
I see, yes, of course. Shorty took the memory restorative medicine you showed us, right? His memory is definitely going to come back, right?
I can promise you that. It's a little after 8 o'clock now, but by 9, he'll have 50% of his memories back. If all goes well, he might even be able to identify the real Shiro Satomi by then.
Oh, what a relief.
Cheerleader, do you mind if I ask a question of my own?
Not at all, ask me anything.
I'm asking this under the assumption that you are indeed the real Shiro Satomi. Why do you think the pigtail girl and the black-haired girl are introducing themselves as Shiro Satomi?
I couldn't even guess. Dr. Keiko, you said my name and number were written on the back of Shorty's driver's license, and you contacted me that way.
Yes, that's correct.
How did 3 people end up gathering here? I mean, how were we able to?
Meaning?
I should have been the only one who knew about Shorty's suicide attempt because I received a call directly from the hospital. The other 2 shouldn't have had any way of knowing, right?
So how could the other 2 have known that Shorty was in the hospital? Now that you mention it, that's a good question. Only the real Shiro Satomi. This is a whole new mystery. I think I've basically asked everything I wanted to ask.
Oh, now that I think of it, about your suicide. I don't have any real ideas about the reason, but there was definitely something weighing on your mind a lot lately.
Huh? Something weighing on my mind? What was it?
No, forget about it. Actually, it doesn't have anything to do with your suicide, so I don't think it would add anything to the conversation.
You're about to make your first premium choice. Some choices cost rubies. These can let you access exclusive scenes and improve your relationship with your love interest. So they should be free in this version, but we'll see. Ask about my worries or don't ask. I'm going to try to ask about them. Of course, it doesn't really help because I can't see. Because apparently I have enough gems. This better be free. I'm going to be really annoyed. My nurse girlfriend, how fitting. Right now, I want whatever little bit of information I can find about myself. Will you tell me what I was worried about?
Well, okay, but don't misunderstand. It isn't a serious enough worry to lead to suicide, all right?
What kind of worry was it?
Well, you and I were having trouble with a stalker.
Oh, here we go again.
It's all been resolved now, but at one point, we even went to the police about it.
Wait, you and I, the 2 of us were both being stalked?
Yes. More precisely, you and your students were being stalked.
Oh, that's a phone. I keep getting calls from unknown numbers. Oh, so what was that like more specifically? Hey, that's not an okay question. You shouldn't give a stalking victim flashbacks to the incident. Oh, right, of course. Sorry, I didn't think. We don't have to talk about this.
No, it's fine. It doesn't bother me that much. And it was resolved a month ago anyway. I'm okay with talking about it.
Well, if you say you're all right with it, go ahead. But if you start feeling bad at any point, you should stop.
Alrighty, so the stalking that you and I were subjected to, they would slice up my underwear when it was hanging out to dry, smear dog stuff on the doorknob, things like that.
Ugh, it's gross. Why is their underwear hanging out to dry anyway? Jeez, that's foreign harassment. So malicious, too.
Yes, it was extremely malicious. The worst was when they poured glue in the keyhole. I couldn't get inside when I got home from school, and then I wound up having to pay out of my own pocket to get the lock changed. It was a huge mess.
That's horrible. Was I victimized the same way?
Yes, they would sneak into your home and steal your belongings.
Sneak in and steal my stuff? That's scary.
It certainly was, but that wasn't the only thing that happened to you. The stalker would send letters to your students saying, cancel your contract with your tutor.
Their tutor? Meaning me? Why would they make a demand like that?
I don't know, but the police said it was probably someone with a serious grudge against you. The stalker sent those letters to every one of your students. So it turned into a big problem at the tutoring agency you worked for. If they just ignored the stalking incident, it would hurt their reputation as a company. And the only victims of that harassment were you and your students. Eventually, people started talking like you might be dismissed.
Why should I be dismissed? I'm a victim. I see. So the company didn't protect me at all.
But for some reason, not too long after that, the stalker's harassment just stopped.
Huh? Why?
I don't know. The police said that it might continue since the likelihood was so high that the stalker had a grudge against you.
So the person didn't get caught? I don't consider that resolved.
But so far, whoever it was hasn't made any moves. Everything has quieted down now, but you started avoiding going out at night or making any trips alone. You must have been terrified of the stalker.
Well, yeah, that's scary, but what's even more shocking is that the idea that someone hates me enough to drag my students into their harassment. I can't remember what kind of guy I was before I lost my memories, but maybe I was the type who made enemies easily.
No, the complete opposite. You were the type who didn't make enemies at all, Shorty. Actually, the type who couldn't make enemies. You were nice to everyone and you made friends effortlessly. You couldn't possibly have any enemies.
That's how jealousy gets born, though. Nevertheless, the fact remains that he was targeted by a stalker. Based on what I've heard, the police's assessment is probably correct. Putting glue in the keyholes, smearing stuff on doorknobs, there's a clear sense of hostility in actions like those. And in your case, Shorty, your home was broken into. If they went that far, I would certainly assume that the stalker holds a fairly strong resentment towards you. No one is loved by everyone. In the course of living in this world and building relationships with others, you're bound to make enemies. Huh. What is it? Oh, nothing. Something about all this talk about the stalker just feels a bit off. Off? What exactly? Nah, never mind. I might just be overthinking things. Anyway, now that I know what I've been worrying about a stalker recently, thanks for telling me about that, Cheryl.
Of course. If anything I said can help you recover your memories, I'll be glad.
All right, well, that just about covers the questions I had planned beforehand. Do you have anything more to talk about, Shorty? If you don't, I'll have to cheerleader leave the room. You need to talk with the other two Cheryls still. If you have anything left that you want to know, ask now, but only one question. I want to know more about you, Cheryl, so I'd love if you told me a bit about your private life. Yeah, I think we're having the invisible problem again that we had with My Sweet Stalker, so I'm going to pause this for a second. I need to get a drink anyway. Okay, so we got her invisibility to wear off.
My private life? Meaning...
Well, about your family, for example.
All right, I'll tell you. But it might get a little dark.
Are you okay with that? I mean, they threw us into darkness right off. Oh no, I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. It's just occurred to me to ask.
It's not that I don't want to talk about it. I just don't know that it'll be a particularly fun conversation, so I feel bad. Well, anyway, my mom passed when I was little, so I grew up with just my dad. But don't worry, even without my mom around, I wasn't lonely at all. My dad was a lot of fun. He always made me laugh. You know, Shorty, you kind of remind me of my dad. Maybe that's why I fell for you.
So we're relating her to a mom, she's relating us to a dad. We have a screwed up relationship.
But the pleasant days I spent with my dad ended around the time I graduated from elementary school.
It's pretty early.
Dad got sick and was hospitalized. He's still in the hospital now.
Your dad is sick in the hospital? So that's why you're living on your own?
Yep, living on my own is very comfortable, actually. It means I can bring you in over whenever I like, Shorty.
Asking purely from a standpoint of medical curiosity, what is the name of your father's condition?
Cardiomyopathy.
Hypertrophic?
No, dilated. Dilated cardiomyopathy.
I see. That's a pretty long name. Cardiomyopathy. So it's a heart condition? Is he going to recover?
Dilated cardiomyopathy is a designated incurable disease. Whether he will or won't recover isn't the question.
Huh? An incurable disease?
Have ACE inhibitors and beta blockers proven effective? Yes, of course, but unfortunately he's getting worse by the day. His heart is full of blood clots and he frequently experiences heart failure. At this point, getting a heart transplant at a hospital overseas is the viable only way of extending his life. See, I told you it would get dark. Will you two stop sitting around in awkward silence? Dad's heart transplant is coming up soon, actually. He's going to be transferred to a hospital abroad next month and he'll get a new heart there. Dad's going to be fine, okay?
I'm sorry to worry you with that. So will the heart transplant cure him? Oh, wow, okay. So he's definitely getting the transplant? You could have said so sooner. I was seriously stuck trying to figure out what to say to you. If the transplant is settled, then yes, I suppose you can be at ease. If I recall correctly, the likelihood of surviving for 10 years after a heart transplant is above 70%. Though if it's being done overseas, I imagine it'll come to a hefty sum, with traveling expenses included. I'm impressed that you raised that kind of money. Hey, doctor, what kind of question is that for someone you just met? Don't ask her about money. But if it's come to an overseas transplant, then depending on where the transplant is happening, the cost could exceed 100 million yen. 100 million? Seriously, there are heart transplants really that expensive? I think it's kind of criminal that people have to pay for medical care at all. Like, the idea that someone could be saved by an operation that they simply can't afford is very sad.
Yes, extremely. Most people couldn't possibly find that kind of money. We've gathered up the expenses for Dad's transplant from a lot of places. Insurance, organ transplant support groups. I'm impressed, cheerleader. You've got a lot of gumption behind that cute face.
Come on, I wouldn't say that. I'm suspicious. Where'd she really get that money from? I've got a lot of respect for you, Cheryl. Pulling off all of that to help someone else? You're amazing.
I'm not that amazing. It's all because I love my dad and I'll do anything to help him.
I hate to cut this short, but it's time to leave. Leave the room, cheerleader.
Wait, please. Shorty, how about a goodbye kiss?
Sure. No.
Why not? It's just a kiss. We're boyfriend and girlfriend, you know.
Kiss her, don't kiss her. I mean, I really want to see if the gem option works, but I gotta say don't kiss her because I don't even know if she's my girlfriend. Dr. Keiko's face looks like Goya's Saturn devouring his son right now. What the heck is that? Probably a painting. If I kiss Cheryl, she might actually murder me. I do want to smooch my darling Cheryl, but I'd better not. I'm sorry, cheerleader, but I can't allow you to kiss him. There are 3 different girls calling themselves Cheryl Satome here, and we still don't know which is the real one. We don't have any solid proof that you're the real Shiro Satome. Save the kissing for after Shorty's memories come back and he can confirm it.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Keiko. I have a feeling that this one might be the real Shiro Satome.
Shorty, did your memories come back?
Oh, she's invisible again! Yeesh, okay, she's back.
Shorty, did your memories come back?
Oh no, I just have a feeling. How sweet. Sweeter than sodium cyclimate. Sweet? What is? I can tell exactly what you're thinking. You're taking the cheerleader's affection seriously, which is making you certain she's your girlfriend. Well, yeah, you heard her, right? The stuff she described was detailed enough that she must have experienced it for real. The only possibility is that this girl's the real Shiro Satome, which makes her my girlfriend. Our protagonist is kind of dumb.
Oh, I've been telling you from the start that I'm the real Shiro.
That's what I mean by sweet. You're naive. Have you always been like that, or did it just come with the amnesia? Someone once said every woman is born an actress. I believe that that's true. If she's making a real effort to deceive someone, any woman can put on a flawlessly realistic performance. Women are more skillful and talented at that than men are.
What? I'm not lying. I'm not putting on a performance.
Yes, but you can say whatever you like. Listen, Shorty, this is important, so note it down in red and underline it. The only things you can trust are your own memories and material evidence. She pulled out the red truth! She's a witch! Did you put a red line under that, like I said? Nope. Where exactly? Anyway, it's too early to declare that this girl is Shiro Satome. All right, cheerleader, your meeting with Shorty is over. Go out and sit on the sofa in the waiting room.
All right, well, Shorty, I'll see you later.
I think she's invisible again. I don't know why this keeps happening. Okay, the cheerleader's gone. How are you feeling, Shorty? Tired? Nope, all good. What do you think, Doctor? Is the cheerleader the real Shiro Satome? Can't say yet. She's only the first one. You know, I really do get the feeling that she's the real deal. She was so sad about my suicide that she started crying, right? I don't think she could have pulled that off if she weren't my real girlfriend. You don't know much. There are loads of people who could fake cry. Oh, really? Well then, I'm talking to her. It just feels like her love for me is the real thing. If she's a fake Shiro, that means her words of love are fake too, right? You hardly need ask. Level up! Whoa, my stomach is vibrating. The phone in your hospital gown pocket is buzzing. It's probably another weird email. I notice your hand is in your pocket. Miss, did you text me? Just give me a second, I'm gonna check it. You're right, Doctor. It's another email from the same sender. What does it say? Hey, why aren't you talking? What's written in the email? I think she's invisible again, but I'm just gonna keep going because I think it's near the end of the chapter and we're already really far over time. What? Oh, so why are your eyes darting around like that? There aren't any security cameras in this room, are there? No, of course not, to protect the patient's privacy. Would you mind shutting the curtains? There could be a bug or a secret camera or something. We're on the 5th floor of an emergency hospital, surrounded by woods. It would be impossible to sneak photos from the outside, and this room was locked until you came here, so planting bugs wouldn't have been possible either. What is going on with you? Exactly what kind of email did you get? Here, look at it. This is the email I got. What in the... Call the girl with the pigtails next? I really hope this invisible thing stops. I don't know if it's because these are the modded versions or not. Like I said, for this one, I don't have a choice but to use a modded version. Just because the original's not available. But I've got to end this part here. We're 43 minutes. So what did you think so far? I'm actually kind of enjoying it. But which Cheryl do you think is the real Cheryl? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!